r/AskReddit, what happened to the smartest kid in your class? Smartest guy from my high school became an actual rocket scientist. He went to MIT, works for Apple, and has a very expensive home in California. He also has a wife and 4 kids and seems to be very happy. I remember he was programming games in high school and was valedictorian. A big nerd who became a wealthy big nerd. He was smart enough to never associate with people from high school, again. He has never attended a reunion and it's been over 30 years. There were 2. They were twins. They're both geneticists now with PhDs, and they work at the same university. Died from a brain tumor right after he graduated high school. He was dang smart. Could play the piano upside down too. He moved to Poland and became a molecular biologist. She worked at Johns Hopkins doing research with psilocybin. Superstar pediatric neurosurgeon. Most confident person I've ever met. Guess you'd have to be, to cut open a little kid's skull and operate on their brain. Dropped out of college to marry and support the much younger woman he got pregnant. Now, 30 years later, owns a board game store with a large back room for mini painting and games and plays dad to half the neurodivergent kids in town. Still married to the same woman too. It's not a high-flying life but he makes a difference to so many people. Edit, wow, this blew up. To make y'all feel better, he was 23 I think and she was 18, a big age gap when you're young. It was also in the Netherlands, where at least at the time, I've been gone a while, we didn't really care so much as long as it wasn't a 10-year difference or one of them was under 15. Teenagers have sex drives, it happens. Guy had 3 scholarship offers, lasted 1 year in uni before jumping off a building. Feel sorry for him and his family. The smartest one I knew ended up drowning, tragically, right after we graduated. I wish I could have seen him make an impact on the world. The smartest kid in my school was really popular, and was one of my closest friends. But when he graduated he left everyone and everything behind including his family. He even changed his name. I found out this little bit of information because a friend went to an academic conference and showed me a group photo and he was in it. I exclaimed, "That's my friend Pascal." He kept his first name but his last name was an anagram of his original name. My best friend, at the time, we drifted apart and speak only rarely now. He got a PhD at Harvard, studied science in Antarctica, and now teaches at an Ivy League university. He's in jail for murder. Came as a surprise. I'm just scrolling Reddit ATM. There are 2. I remember one of them crying when they got an A on a test in like 7th grade. One of them, the one who cried, is an executive in a Fortune 500 company. Nothing special but making a lot of money. The other one is a brain surgeon. Disappeared into a shadowy government job. Poof, gone. Edit, wow, this exploded, almost like the US government headhunts like any other business I guess, winking face with tongue. I had such a big crush on her and told her. We dated, she moved across country to study and is now a doctor. So proud of her even though our lives changed paths. He got sick with a rare stomach disease and isn't doing too good. After never having even smoked a cigarette or drank alcohol in high school, straight as all the way through, he got a full ride to a really good university. As a freshman he dropped acid, walked out in front of a car and was killed. Damn, this thread is fucking depressing. He spent years researching how to cloak himself like the Predator from the 1987 film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He got surprisingly far before he ended up getting a top-secret government job. Haven't heard from him since. Maybe he's a secret agent, maybe he actually became the Predator? No one knows. She got a PhD in neuroscience from Stanford, and I think she's a professor or associate professor somewhere now. She was possibly the sweetest girl I'd ever met. I was an intelligent underachiever, and ended up in a few AP courses with her because our teachers saw my test scores and refused to continue to let me do dipshit things with my dipshit friends. She was always super proud of me when I actually showed up and put some effort in, and, lo and behold, got excellent marks. Honestly, she really turned around the last 2 years of HS for me. Also, she's wicked hot now. A hot genius. She married a religious fruitcake 12 years older than she was almost immediately after graduation and started pumping out kids. Never went to college. Has never had a job. Spends her days on Facebook shaming people for being sinners. Got a full ride to Harvard. Did an internship his first summer at Intel and was killed by a drunk driver a few weeks after arriving in California. Fucking couldn't believe it when it happened 25 years ago. Still can't really. He is currently an aerospace engineer who played a big role in the engineering of the Canadarm. He was an idealist, became a priest and served in the Vatican, became disillusioned and left the church, got 2 master's degrees, and died by his own hand. He was a truly good person who couldn't marry his ideals with the reality of the church. When I was in middle school, we had a super smart kid join later on in the semester that was always teased because he was above everyone else mentally. I think in 8th grade he was doing 10th or 11th grade mathematics. Any test that he took he passed with flying colors, hardly even studying. He befriended me. I was kinda quiet in middle school because of stuff going on at home. His mom always made me an extra sandwich whenever she made his lunch. I lost contact after graduation, but a few years later when I was a sophomore in college I decided to look him up on Facebook and couldn't believe what I saw. There was my friend the brainiac smoking salvia out of a huge bong as his profile picture. I think he had to take it down because when I looked him up again he had pics of him drinking out of a funnel. Died in a car accident sophomore year. I loved her. First person I felt those feelings for. I could remember the first time I saw her in kindergarten. We also learned to golf together my freshman year. It was tragic because she had so much potential and died overachieving trying to get to school early for jazz band practice. It was snowing and school hadn't been delayed or cancelled yet, as our superintendent liked to always wait last minute. She hit a slick spot and collided with a semi. She's a professor at Oxford University. The smartest kids I knew in school turned to alcohol. And doing really dumb shit, maybe not all but quite a few. The bullies didn't amount to anything either. The mediocre ones in the middle were the ones that had successful careers and normal lives. I believe he works for NASA. He deleted his Facebook a while ago, like the smartest kid in our class would do, but that's what he was doing last I checked. She went to med school. Far as I know her life is good. Man shrugging, light skin tone. Edit, for everyone saying med school sucks, she graduated, so at least that's over and done with, lol. Fantail happened to her. Married the most abusive guy ever and had 3 kids. Divorced. Went to a big college. Got a degree in tech. Now makes 6 figures and owns a townhouse outside of Baltimore. He lives with his grandmother mainly. Smokes a shitload of weed. Flies a girl from Colorado to fuck and smoke with. I married his sister. Had a full ride through Berkeley. Ended up experimenting a lot with hallucinogens. Started to believe he was a star child or starseed and was from another planet. Ended up starving himself in a national park to die with the Earth so he could meet other star children. Fucking miss and love you, buddy. Edit, it has come to my attention there is a Berkeley and a Berkeley. He was the smartest kid, not me, lol. So I'm updating this to add the correct college. Went to college for mathematics as one of the most promising young minds in the Midwest. Was in college for a year before switching to study Spanish. Dropped out a year later. Currently works at GameStop 20 minutes from his parents' house, where he lives. He was a good friend of mine, but I recently learned that he considered me his best friend. It's such a shame that his intelligence is going to waste. He is literally so smart, and has such a talent for math, but he seems content with his life. Who am I to judge? Unfortunately, the smartest kid in my class in middle school ended his life in 8th grade. He was also a brilliant violinist. I was his stand partner in orchestra. I was proud to be his brother's stand partner in high school. Rest in peace, Connor. That was me. I'm now a stay-at-home dad of 4 wonderful kids and in a loving, 16-year marriage. My wife is my best friend. While I may not have reached my full potential academically, I'm happy. Very happy. I realized that life is too short to care about anything other than living my life the way that I want to, not the way that I'm expected to. I moved away as soon as possible. My hometown is 3,000 people and mostly farmers. Being the smartest there was not hard. I'm not even close to the smartest anywhere else. He did his undergraduate degree, couldn't afford a master's etc., so ended up working in offices for 15 years where he had to hide his intelligence around his co-workers. Finally founded his own company and is now in politics where he can be the smartest person in the room and people will respect it. Good guy, just way above most people's level of intelligence and has had to hide it most of his life. Edit, let me correct my post. She married the now second richest man. It's hard to keep up with the billionaires and how fast their interest doubled their wealth over the pandemic, face with rolling eyes. She married the, now, richest man in the world. Divorced him and is now the 4th richest human. Not bad. Crushed under the weight of expectations and mental illness, he burned out and works call centers now instead of his full potential. I was one of those. I got my BA, dropped out of grad school. Now I make $18,000 in a developing country and I'm reasonably happy with my life after about 7 years of on and off suicidal depression. He was drafted in the 7th round by the St. Louis Cardinals and he was getting his master's in biomed at 21 to 22, played a few years in lower ball after signing around $250,000 signing bonus. Now he's a nuclear medicine doctor. His mom wouldn't let him play with me anymore because he was in the advanced reading group. Ran into him 20 years later, he was a paper salesman at a failing paper company. I absorbed his powers, now he just watches TikToks all day. I ended up being a drug addict and a cook at a bar. Being smart doesn't do anything if it just drives you to insecurity and depression, except make you loathe yourself for not living up to your potential. Went to MIT and became an aerospace engineer, I think. He died from cancer shortly after graduation, sad face. Works in Tesco stacking shelves. He was an aerospace engineer but he had some mental health issues and just couldn't take the pressure. Super smart and really nice guy, but always struggled socially. Works as a staff engineer at a tech company. All the pressure made me have a mental breakdown in college. I was diagnosed with many illnesses mentally. Finished my first round with a 3.98. Got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Fucked my body and memory so bad I had to quit my job working at our doctor's office. Developed severe myofascial pelvic pain syndrome. I lost everything, including my husband. He cheated and left because not working made me not part of the team. I wish I put more effort into experiences rather than education, as now I'm disabled and it all feels pointless and worthless as I'm in debt I can't work out of. He just accepted a full professorship at a big university in the States. Particle physicist. Also my bestie. I was valedictorian in a class of 20 people in high school. I never found work in the field I studied in college and was tired of the shitty entry-level work I'd been stuck doing for years, so I went back to school for some certs related to IT and programming. I'm doing just above entry-level IT work now, which is fine. The girl I was planning to marry left me shortly after I turned 30, but because of the housing market I'm forced to live in the guest room of the home we had bought together. Due to one of the jobs I'd worked before getting into IT, I'm dealing with anxiety and depression caused by PTSD. I'm living in a city that I hate after having left my friends and family behind to move in with my now ex, so I'm very much alone. People often said I was smart, but it was always just surface level facts and decent communication skills. I know my situation could always be worse. I'm grateful to have a job and a place to sleep, and being able to communicate with friends over Discord has been helpful. Still, I'd hope my 30s wouldn't be like this. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.